I've written standards. In this case, I won't name the country, but I wrote waste management standards for a country where storage is at a premium. And the question that was raised for many of the elements in a better stand would be, we don't have the storage capacity, and so therefore we use waste to incineration for energy. And so in some countries, it might be a challenge to get gold because they're more likely to say it's more economical for us not to reuse because we have to have storage and we have no facilities for storage, or we have no facilities to do the recycling that we need to do. And so how do we change that economic behavior? How do we get people to realize that even though there is a limited storage and it's an economic issue, this is still something we ought to do?
Not everything is possible everywhere, and that's why I think it's so exciting that Better Stands now exists across the whole industry. Better Stands is currently being implemented in over 40 countries. So it does kind of show its ability to adapt to each of those regions, whether it be China to Brazil to Hong Kong to Singapore and the Middle East. But it is needing that collaboration between the ecosystem in each of those different regions and is having to adapt to different and to kind of help address different problems. Hopefully, that collaboration is going to help drive the kind of the demand and the kind of the business case for investment in what's needed to kind of, like you use the example of if recycling isn't available somewhere or something, drive that demand for that within that region if more and more people are asking for that through engagement through this program. The storage question, though, I think Better Stands consciously doesn't look at the logistics element of stands right now. We are very conscious that it is an impactful element, but we wanted to keep the program very focused and very simple to enable that kind of mass uptake and kind of movement on one issue that we can all kind of impact right now. We have kind of thought about, is that the natural evolution of Better Stands in the future, that people who are wanting to look further, there is then the element of looking at their logistics. But what we find in general, though, although storage can hamper in some places, it's not so much that in the majority of cases, it's not that someone's got one stand and then they will keep it for their next show that they use that stand. So the exhibitor has a stand and they'll do the same show 1 year later. The contractor has a reusable system there's hundreds of different ways that might exist, that they use to build a stand for an exhibitor 1 week, but the next week they're using those exact same materials to build a different configuration for their next customer. So it's not that it's sitting in storage. We're not building up all of these stands in storage, just waiting for that person to use it a year later. It's having this ability for the contractors to use these systems throughout their year. They'll be at that show at a different exhibition week after week using the same materials, but completely constructing something completely different out of it.
So I really rent my stand or my elements of my stand so that they do get reused. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Very nice.